Welcome to Wrestling at the Chase, the opening bout, a one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing from Dunkirk, Indiana, weighing 238 pounds, Roger Kirby. And from Denton, Texas, weighing 235 pounds, Kevin Von Erich. Referee Lee Warren.
Roger Kirby squares off with Kevin Von Erich. Quite an opener on Wrestling at the Chase. Kirby, very strong, holds a world record for the leg press. He hoisted 2,800 pounds. That's a very strong individual. And Kevin Von Erich has his work cut out for him, as he did last week in a handicap tag match. But Kevin held up beautifully and scored a big victory against two opponents. Kevin moves behind Kirby. Kirby counters with a double wrist lock, comes up with an arm bar on Kevin Von Erich. Good move by Roger Kirby. Kirby twists the arm, turns it into a hammerlock. Kevin spins out. Nicely done by Kevin Von Erich. Speed and agility coming into play and doing the job for Kevin Von Erich. Kirby waits patiently for Kevin to come to him. They tie up and it's a side headlock by Kevin Von Erich on Kirby. Kirby lifts Von Erich. Von Erich hangs on and Kirby is thrown over the hip. Kirby used his strength there, but he didn't have quite enough to throw away Kevin Von Erich. Kevin really hung on to the head. And that's the key when he's up in the air like that. He has to keep a good grip on the head. Otherwise, he's going to go sailing through the air in a very bad position. But if the man up in the air, in this case Kevin Von Erich, can hold that head, he probably will be able to use Kirby's own strength against him, as he did there, taking him over the hip. Kirby pulls the hair and referee Lee Warren slaps Kirby's hand away. The hold still belongs to Kevin Von Erich. Hip toss by Kirby. Oh, it didn't work. Well done by Kevin Von Erich. The hip toss by Roger Kirby, but Kevin held onto the side headlock. Very, very difficult to do there for Kevin Von Erich. Kirby really had Kevin off balance, but Kevin persistently hung on to that headlock. Kirby rolls Von Erich into a cradle. Can't keep him there, though. Only long enough for a count of one by two. Von Erich's shoulders had come free of the mat. Kirby struggles to his feet. Hip toss again, and it still doesn't work as Kevin Von Erich hangs on to that side headlock. Kirby must be getting a little frustrated. He can't seem to break out of this side headlock. Now Kirby tries to pull back on the chin, throws a forearm smash. Another smash across the chest. It was a legal blow. It's with the forearm. It didn't do a whole lot of good, although it did allow Kirby to improve his position slightly. The hold, though, still belongs to Kevin. Now Kirby puts that forearm across the cheek and jaw, but not for long. Kevin gets the head loose. He'd like to roll Kirby over onto Kirby's back. Kirby still on top, even though in the headlock. They get to their feet. Kevin still has the hold. Kirby lifts Kevin and deposits him on the top turnbuckle. This will require a break. The men are in the ropes. Referee Lee Warren wants Kevin to release that head, which Kevin is very slow to do. He knows he's in a precarious position right there, and that is exactly why he was in a bad spot as Kirby goes to work on the ribs and the stomach of Kevin Von Erich. Roger Kirby driving the knee into the stomach of Von Erich. Kirby's strength turned out to be the difference right there. That's what allowed him to put Kevin in those ropes, and now it's Kirby from behind clamping the head, and you can see Kevin gasping for wind after the assault to the midsection by Roger Kirby. Kirby with a forearm smash. And then again he clamps the head. Lee Warren checks the throat. It's clear. No strangling. The crowd begins to chant and yell for Kevin Von Erich, and that just makes Kirby angry. He pops a fist off the jaw of Kevin and then regains the headlock. Again, a forearm smash by Roger Kirby. Kevin trying to get to his feet. He's a little the taller of the two. An elbow smash to the rib cage. Then an arm drag by Kevin Von Erich, and now an arm bar by Kevin. He regains the advantage, but maybe not for long because Kirby got to the ropes. Look at Kevin. He yanks Kirby off those ropes and pulls him halfway across the ring. Talk about strength. We've been talking about the strength of Roger Kirby, but Kevin Von Erich has plenty too. There's the knee right across the cheek of Roger Kirby, stretching out the neck. Not only does Kevin Von Erich have tremendous power in the upper body, but you can look at those legs and understand why Kevin Von Erich has been working on the body scissors as a submission hold.
5 minutes have elapsed, 5 minutes left.
Actually, it was promoter Sam Muchnick who gave Kevin the idea of working on the body scissors as a submission hold. Promoter Sam Muchnick noted that Kevin, in his legs and lower body, was built a lot like the late, great Joe Stecker, who held the world heavyweight title 3 different times back around the early 1920s. Kevin did some studying of Joe Stecker's style, and we understand that he's now working on the body scissors as a submission hold. Kevin Von Erich, it's a slugging match, and Kevin gets the best of it, follows with a drop kick. Kirby retreats to the corner. Kevin Von Erich goes to town on Roger Kirby. Flying heel. Flying head scissors by Kevin Von Erich. From what we've heard about Kevin Von Erich's body scissors, you know Joe Stecker used to be able to take sacks of grain, of wheat or of sand, and he could put a body scissors on that sack of sand and actually split the sack open, just crush the sack literally. Kevin Von Erich has been training the same way, and we understand that he has now developed the strength and the leg extension in his legs to the point that that body scissors, he can use it in the same way Stecker did, literally crushing sacks of grain, sacks of sand. Can you imagine how effective that would be across somebody's stomach, across the rib cage? He can use it as a submission hold, and of course we've seen him use a rolling body scissors as a pin maneuver. So Kevin Von Erich becoming more versatile every day, and that's something to be looking for from Kevin Von Erich in the future, the body scissors as a submission hold. Believe me, if he can crush sacks of wheat between those legs, he can do a job on somebody's stomach. He can also do a job on someone's head, as Roger Kirby just found out, and that's why he's strangling Kevin Von Erich. Lee Warren gets Kirby off the throat of Kevin Von Erich.
Three minutes left, 3 minutes.
3 minutes remain as Roger Kirby and Kevin Von Erich slug it out. Kirby knocked to one knee. Elbow smash to the neck by Kevin Von Erich. Kick to the stomach by Kevin. Flying mare by Kevin Von Erich. Flying elbow drop rivets Kirby to the mat. Count of one. At 2, though, Kirby pulls the trunks and shoves off Kevin Von Erich. Again, the flying mare by Kevin. Knee drop to the chest. It was not on the throat, it was on the chest. Another knee drop by Kevin. He goes for the pin on Kirby. Count of 1. At 2 once more, Kirby escapes the pin. The pin possibility, rather. Knee lift to the stomach by Roger Kirby. Kirby's a tough customer. He can take punishment. He can dish it out. He doesn't need much of an opening to find room to score, as Kevin Von Erich found out right there. And Kevin doesn't need much of an opening either. He caught Kirby in the stomach. Smash to the forehead by Kirby. That one dazed Kevin Von Erich. Kevin staggers to the corner as Kirby pounds on Kevin's head. Kirby whoops Kevin into the buckles. Kevin lashes out with that boot to the midsection. Kevin refusing to quit fighting. That's instinct in any Von Erich. Kevin, David, Fritz, Kerry, you name it. They just won't quit. They don't know what quit means. Oh, Kevin went for the iron claw and Kirby blocked it. Kevin went for the iron claw and Kirby blocked it. Kevin trying to shove that hand through there and get to the head of Kirby.
One minute left, 1 minute.
1 minute remains, and Kevin Von Erich has the stomach claw on Roger Kirby. Kevin Von Erich with a stomach claw. Kirby trying to punch his way out of the stomach claw by Kevin Von Erich. Kevin grinding away those stomach muscles. Kirby bridging to lift the shoulders up so he won't be pinned. Kevin Von Erich digging in on the stomach. Now Kirby manages to get over on top of Kevin. Kevin bridges his way back on top of Kirby with the stomach claw. Kirby, by pulling hair, manages to get back on top of Kevin, but he can't get Kevin's digging fingers out of his stomach. Kevin grinding away with that stomach claw. Kirby now reaching for the ropes, but the referee's between him and those ropes. Now Kirby reaches up for the hair of Kevin Von Erich. Kirby desperately trying to roll over and get out of that stomach claw. There's the bell. The time limit has expired. And maybe that's all that saved Roger Kirby. Kevin Von Erich had the stomach claw on Roger Kirby. Kirby was able to hang on until the time limit expired. This match is a draw, and here's Mickey.
With time running out, referee Lee Warren declares the match a draw.
The biggest of the big clash in one of the features on the Fantastic Wrestling slate Friday, September 14th at air-conditioned Kiel Auditorium. Andre the Giant squares off with King Kong Brody. Even though Brody stands 6'6" and weighs 302 pounds, King Kong gives away 11 inches and 170 pounds to Andre. Brody, though, demanded this match and intends to flatten the Giant. Helping headline the September 14th program is a 16-man Wrestle Royal. Andre and 15 other grapplers go into the ring at once. A man is eliminated by being tossed over the top rope. The sole survivor in the ring wins. The window ticket sale begins September 7th at the Arcade Building and Kiel. The prices are $2, $3, $4, and $5. Mail orders may be sent now to the St. Louis Wrestling Club, Mezzanine 10 Arcade Building, St. Louis 63101. Friday, September 14th at Kiel Auditorium, Andre the Giant versus King Kong Brody, plus a 16-man Wrestle Royal.
The first main event, a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing from Santa Fe, New Mexico, weighing 304 pounds, King Kong Brody. And from Chicago, Illinois, weighing 252 pounds, Bill Nixon. Referee Chuck Riley.
King Kong Brody was bellowing as he came down the steps from the dressing room for his match with Bill Nixon. And what a tough way to make a St. Louis debut for Bill Nixon against King Kong Brody. Nixon comes in around 250 pounds, and he's giving away some 50 pounds to Brody. Got Mickey Garagiola yelling in fear, I think. Boy, that's an awesome sight when King Kong Brody comes at you. Good, quick move, dropping the leg and putting Nixon on the mat. Brody twisting the leg of Bill Nixon. This man is one phenomenal athlete, King Kong Brody, 6'6", about 304 pounds. Bench presses over 500 pounds, squats with 700 pounds, and yet still can do drop kicks. Actually, Brody broke cleanly. Of course, Chuck Riley, the referee, made sure he got in between Brody and Nixon. Controlling King Kong Brody is a very difficult task. Brody counters with an armbar, and Brody trips Nixon. Don't kid yourself. He may be a little wild, even a little crazy sometimes, but Brody can wrestle. Not using muscle right there, just good wrestling, tripping down Nixon. King Kong Brody with an armbar on Bill Nixon. I wonder if he'll be able to put Andre the Giant on the mat like that. As big as Brody is, he'll give away 11 inches, 170 pounds when he steps in the ring against Andre the Giant. But Brody demanded the match with Andre. He absolutely demanded it.
I tell you, Andre the Giant better be ready when he throws that drop kick, because this guy can really throw it at you.
Oh,
there's a lot of weight coming at you.
Brody with a flying mare. And a stomp to the head of Nixon. Another kick to the head of Bill Nixon by King Kong Brody, who then pulls and twists the head of Nixon. Brody is upset about what has been happening in St. Louis. He points out he's beaten Jack Briscoe, he's beaten Pat O'Connor, he's beaten Ox Baker, he's beaten Ted DiBiase, and still he can't seem to get another match with the World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race. That is why Brody demanded the showdown with Andre. He says, I will prove myself against the biggest, the strongest of them all. That's why Brody wanted, and that's why Brody has Andre the Giant. One-on-one, head-to-head. Brody puts Nixon in the corner. Chuck Riley trying to get Brody back. Brody pounds on the Nixon with that forearm, driving the forearm across the skull of Nixon. Brody pounding on Nixon. Brody yanks Nixon out of that corner and whips him across the ring, manhandling a 250-pounder. Brody with a forearm to the rib cage. Brody pulls Nixon's head forward into a front face lock. Is it a strangle? It's hard to tell, just to get around the big burly arms of Brody to find out if the throat is clear. Brody just turns Nixon around easily. And then Brody clubs Nixon again. What an awesome, frightening sight is King Kong Brody when he's on the rampage. Nixon is clubbed to the mat by Brody. Brody with a kick to the jaw. Another kick to the head by King Kong Brody. So far, he's running roughshod over Bill Nixon. Oh, one arm body slam by Brody. He really lifted him with just one arm and slammed Bill Nixon. Brody stalks the ring as Nixon tries to get his breath back after that body slam. Kick to the head by Brody, dishing out the punishment. Almost nobody can produce mayhem like King Kong Brody. The question is, how will Andre the Giant stand up against it? Brody with a kick to the stomach levels Nixon. It's all King Kong Brody right now. The forearm smash across the top of the head again. Nixon throws a smash against Brody. Brody just stands there. Nixon hits Brody again, and Brody just takes those forearm smashes. Look at Brody. Nixon not quite too sure what to make of it. Brody gouges the eyes. Flying mare by King Kong. Flying knee drop by Brody.
5 minutes have elapsed, 15 minutes left.
Oh, Brody could have pinned him. Brody could have pinned him, but he just wasn't satisfied. He wanted to dish out more punishment yet to Bill Nixon. This Brody is something else. He's as big and strong and mean as anyone who has ever stepped inside a St. Louis ring. Brody clouts Nixon. Brody again lifts Nixon, hands him up 6.5 foot in the air and slams him. Brody poises, leaps to the air and crushes Nixon. The giant knee drop by King Kong Brody, and King Kong Brody absolutely overwhelms, crushes, dismantles Bill Nixon. Brody, the man who can try those tactics against Andre the Giant. King Kong Brody, the winner. Here's Mickey.
In 5 minutes and 46 seconds, when he dropped the winner, King Kong Brody. The second main event, a one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing from West Memphis, Arkansas, weighing 265 pounds, Larry Wright. From Edmonton, Canada, weighing 275 pounds, a former world's champion, Gene Kiniski. There we go.
There were quite a number of cheers when Gene Kiniski, Big Thunder, was introduced. Kiniski bouncing off the ropes, trying to throw Wright out of synchronization, get him a little off balance. Kiniski goes behind Larry Wright, wraps up the head, ties up the arm, goes into a wrist lock. Big Thunder, Gene Kiniski, who held the World Heavyweight Championship more than 3 years. Kiniski drives a chop across the throat and chest of Larry Wright. He looks in great shape, doesn't he, Kiniski? Good move there, hooking the arm. Beautifully done by Gene. 6'5", 275. A whirlwind inside the ring, a whirlwind outside the ring.
Whirlwind anywhere you want to meet this guy.
Oh,
I thought he was... Larry, I thought he was coming right at me. He comes right at me, and I was going to lay one on me, and he says, "How's your rich brother?"
That's Gene Kiniski, boy. Good move underneath, rolling right into a cradle, but coming up with the arm again, and an arm bar by Gene Kiniski. Look where he put the knee, right inside the chin. Puts the hand across the jaw. Look out, Larry Wright. Kiniski pounds on Wright and rakes the Buddha across the forehead and eyebrows of Larry Wright. Gene has an interesting philosophy about the rule book. He says, I don't abuse it, I use it. He knows where every loophole is. Kiniski forces Wright down to one knee with an arm bar. Talk about good big men, people like Andre the Giant and King Kong Brody. Here's another good big man, Gene Kiniski. He whips that arm down, pulling Wright down, jerking the shoulder right out of the socket if he can. Kiniski twisting the arm of Larry Wright. Double wrist lock. Wright carried over, head scissors by Kiniski. Like all the good ones, all the great ones, Kiniski can wrestle as well as get rough. Wright trying to kick his way out of the head scissors, finally manages to do so, but did you see how quick Kiniski was on his feet? By the time Wright got up, Kiniski was ready and waiting. Wright goes to hammerlock on Kiniski. Kiniski hooks the leg, nice leg drop by Gene Kiniski. Fine move by the former world champion and former Missouri state champion. When you talk about leading contenders for either honor, the world title or the Missouri title, you put Gene Kiniski right at the head of the list. Full Nelson by Larry Wright on Kiniski. Kiniski trying to muscle his way out. Look at him lift right off his feet and breaks it simply by lifting right off his feet, flexing the neck and pulling the head forward. Kiniski circled. Knee to the stomach by Big Gene and then drives the fingers into the throat of Larry Wright. Referee Lee Warren warns Kiniski about using those stiffened fingers into the windpipe. You know, we mentioned the Missouri state champion, Dick Murdoch, and on this upcoming program where Andre the Giant will square off with King Kong Brody, where there's also a 16-man Wrestle Royal, promoter Sam Muchnick would like to sign the Missouri state champion, Dick Murdoch, to defend the title against Dory Funk Jr. as you watch that fine rolling toe hold by Gene Kiniski. The problem on signing Dory Jr. against Murdoch, Dory Jr. signed, sealed, and delivered. He'll be there. But Dick Murdoch's a little bit more surly and uncooperative than usual. He's pretty uncooperative to begin with normally, but he seems to be pouting after his loss of a very tough match to the world champion Harley Race, a bloody match. Race was bleeding and in a lot of trouble, but he managed to trap Murdoch with a front-rolling cradle and thus save the gold belt and World Heavyweight Championship. The question is Murdoch trying to avoid a match with Dory Funk Jr.? Is he just being difficult because he's upset? You never know with Murdoch. He's involved in so much controversy. He's so blustery, controversial, belligerent. At any rate, that's a story we'll have to watch in the coming week as Sam Muchnick tries to pin down Dick Murdoch to defend the Missouri state title against former world champion Dory Funk Jr. Kiniski has both arms tied behind Wright, really a type of surfboard hold. You can see how he's putting pressure into the shoulder of Larry Wright. Wright trying to get his leg on the bottom rope. It's an unusual way to apply, I guess, a surfboard hold you would call it, because that's really how the arms are. Now Gene goes behind Wright in a more conventional surfboard. Look how he lifts Wright up. Just pulling him around the ring. And then Kiniski sticks his foot in Wright's back, knocks him clear across the ring, and Wright's head hits the turnbuckle. And now Kiniski and Lee Warren are in an argument. Warren saying you gained that hold while the man was in the ropes, and that's why Lee Warren wanted it broken. Wright staggering. Arm drag by Kiniski. Then an arm stretch by Big Thunder. Really, at this point, Kiniski's just out wrestling Wright. He really hasn't had to rely on too much rough stuff.
5 minutes have elapsed, 10 minutes left.
Larry Wright tries to come to his feet while trapped in the arm stretch of Big Thunder, Gene Kiniski. Maybe Wright can walk out of it. If he can bring that boot over, he might be able to kick Kiniski in the head. But Kiniski has too much balance. He throws Wright back down, and Lee Warren gets a count of one on the shoulders of Larry Wright. Kiniski stretching out the arm of Wright. Can't get over the fine condition that Kiniski's in. Boy, he is trim. Moving very quickly. Easy to see why he's in the main event every night throughout Canada. Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Portland. He's main event there throughout Japan. He's always in demand in Japan. If they could, those Japanese promoters would sign Kiniski for a year contract, keep him there all the time. Wright kicks his way out of the arm stretch and gets kicked in the stomach for his trouble. Kiniski is angry, and Big Thunder knocks down Wright. Kaniski goes to the leg and then drives his knee into the thigh of Larry Wright. Kaniski dragging Wright across that ring. Puts the leg of Wright across the bottom rope, and then the knee drop to Wright's knee by Gene Kaniski. Kaniski knows how to hurt a man. Wright staggers to his feet. Kaniski stalks him, and Wright tries to get a little extra time to get that leg loose. Kaniski goes behind Wright. Grapevines both legs, rolls him into pin position, and Wright has to grab the ropes.
I'll tell you, that Kaniski never sits still. You know that? He's always moving in that ring.
Constantly. He sets a furious pace, and now Kaniski stomps on Larry Wright. Much like King Kong Brody, Kaniski sets the pace of a match, and with Kaniski, it's such a fast, quick-moving pace that his opponent has to be in excellent, perfect condition to stay with him. He just wears a man down. Kaniski traps the head and arm and pulls right down over his own knee. Now ties up the arm inside with that. Well, let's see, what's he have there? He has a wrist lock, really, across the head. Headlock and wrist lock combination, if you will. It's not a strangle. Windpipe's clear. But Larry Wright's going to have a lot of trouble getting out of this one. Kaniski solves a problem with a body drop across the neck. No chiropractor ever used that one. Count of one. Wright manages to get free. Kaniski, knowing how to use his weight, bounces right off the ropes. Judo chop to the throat. Right to the throat by Kaniski. Kaniski says, get up, and then he kicks right in the stomach. Oh, and Kaniski nailed Wright. Hard slash again, and down goes Larry Wright. Wright must feel like he's on an elevator. Every time he gets up, Kaniski knocks him down. Look at Kaniski all over that ring. Wright spots him out of the right eye, then he looks, here he is out of the left eye. Suddenly he's nowhere. That's because Kaniski's behind him. Wright doesn't know which way to turn.
Tell you, that Kaniski gets on that bicycle, and he really gets around her.
Oh, he's all over the ring. Wright pounds on Kaniski's head. Kaniski trying to pull the head out. Tighten up the neck muscles, get loose. Almost did it there. He just throws right off with the strength in his neck. Talk about a powerful man. See the power of Brody? Well, look at the power of Kaniski, who just in that neck. He broke the full Nelson, strictly with the muscles in his neck, and that's how he got out of the side headlock. Body scissors by Gene Kaniski. Right shoulders are up. Lee Warren checks it. Kaniski squeezes the stomach of Larry Wright. Now Kaniski pulls back on the arm, never content just to sit with a hold. You know Kaniski. Now he forces the head of Wright down against the canvas and roughs the face of Wright right against the canvas, pushing Wright's nose into the mat. And Kaniski tries to break that nose by bouncing his leg against the head. The crowd says, do it again. And Kaniski roughs up Wright some more. What a humiliating position that must be for Larry Wright, as Kaniski has Wright's arms tied up with his leg. Meanwhile, now scraping the cheek and face of Wright against that mat. Big Gene Kaniski once more bounces the face of Wright against the mat. Beautiful shot of Kaniski's face. He's been through a few wars, and that's why he knows how to conduct himself in a war. And Larry Wright's going to feel like he has been in World War III if he doesn't get going soon.
10 minutes have passed, 5 minutes left.
Larry Wright slowly comes to his feet, and there's Kaniski with a knee to the jaw. Kaniski with another knee lift. Larry Wright trying to get an offense generated against Gene Kaniski with no luck at all. Side headlock again by Wright. Bounces a fist off Kaniski's head. Another punch to the head by Larry Wright. Knocks Kaniski to the corner. Wright desperately flailing away at Big Thunder. Flying Beal. Kaniski comes off the ropes with a knee lift to the stomach. Hard kick to the chest by Kaniski. Wright bounced to the ropes. Another chop. Oh, that one nearly knocked out the soundboard. Knee drop to the stomach by Kaniski. Big Thunder is booming today. Kaniski lifts Wright, backbreaker. The backbreaker by big Gene Kiniski. The leg and arms both cradled. And Gene Kiniski has a very impressive victory on Wrestling at the Chase. Kiniski out-wrestled and out-roughed Larry Wright. It was Kiniski all the way. Here's ring announcer Mickey Garagiola.
11 minutes and 8 seconds, the backbreaker. The winner, Gene Kiniski.